But here we are nonetheless. We are back for the GT4 Championship here tonight. This is actually the 4th time I've done this intro. Yeah, we're back here tonight for the round 13 of this season. This is races 37, 38 and 39. And we've got 10 drivers out on track here tonight. We're currently missing Smoky Devil, and Cobb's already told us he's handed his apologies for tonight, can't make it. We've got Ollie, who's jumped in as a reserve, as well as LFRD and CMC. And these three decided to be very generous. They're going to be starting at the front for tonight. Hopefully we're going to have Totally Zero jumping in for races 2 and 3, and maybe even Smoky Devil as well if he can get himself on. Big Blue also notable absentee here tonight. I don't know if he's planning on jumping in. I know he's not a fan of these cars, so maybe he's gone for an early retirement this season. I'm not sure, but I'm sure we'll be seeing him for the touring cars. Hopefully he'll be jumping in for the Clios next season as well if we do run them. It's looking like we probably are going to be returning to the Clio Cup for next season. But all attention to these GT4s because the championship, as I said before, still on the line here, and anything can happen. But it's going to be between Mike and John Boy for this title. 36 points separating these two coming in tonight after the drop rounds. Obviously we're factoring those drop rounds in at this stage in the season because it's now very relevant indeed. They'll drop 3 rounds from their worst 3 rounds, should I say, from their season will be discounted from their points total. But the one rule is that you cannot drop the final round. So after next week's action, which will be at Le Mans Bugatti, we will know for sure what the situation is. So going into that final round, we'll know what the points is. You cannot drop the last round of the season. So once you get to that final round, everybody knows where they stand. It's a bit fairer to do that because obviously you know as soon as they cross the line after the last race, you know exactly what's happened. But here we are then, guys. We're about to go racing here for the first race of the night here at Circuit de Catalunya, and it looks like we're racing as LFRD's put his foot to the floor. We are green here at Catalunya, as you see there. Ollie trying to tuck into the slipstream there. You've got CMC just behind him. You've already got a KTM attacking there in the background. Is that Pot the Brown here, who's trying to make a move on Part Pooper? It looks like it could be. In the background, we've also got Mike and John Boy battling already, the 2 championship contenders. Looks like Mike got a bit of a sleepy start to the race, as LFRD a bit wide there coming through turn 1. And we can see Craig's moved through ahead of Doris Steer up into 3rd place. Nice move there from him. Somebody's lost it there. Who's lost it? That's CMC there, who's round at the first corner and is down to the back of the pack already here. But Ollie's making a move for the lead. He's down the inside here of LFRD as they come into turn 4. That's job done there for Ollie Marr. Up into P1. Craig there in 3rd head of Doris there. He's looking down the inside there. Doris there goes for a late lunge and pushes Craig onto the grass. And Craig does well there to keep that out of harm's way. But Part Pooper there squeezing through up into 4th place. And Craig losing 2 places there in that little exchange. Doris to up in position. Let's Pot the Brown trying to defend here from Aussie Albie. Mike is up the inside there, looking up the inside of Aussie as well, as Mike is still ahead of John Boy. In fact, he's actually got ahead of John Boy, so Mike has moved us up into 8th place ahead of his championship rival in the early stage of this race, but still a long way to go here tonight. Ollie, though, leading, having taken the lead off Hardy. Oh, and we see somebody spun in the background there. Somebody's gone off, and that, I think, was Craig. It is Craig, and in fact, he's had a collision. In fact, no, he hasn't. CMC's lost it all of his own accord there, probably seeing what happened with Craig there, got a bit distracted, but Craig down to P9 in this race. Ollie still leading ahead of LFRD, followed by Doris Steer with Part Pooper there ahead of Pot the Brown. Aussie Albie all over the back of him at the moment, with the 2 championship contenders still at the rear of this pack of cars. 4 seconds covering the top 8 here in the early stages at Catalunya. As somebody's lost it, LFRD's binned it. LFRD's dropped down to 8th place now, so he's fallen by the wayside as well here. Lots of drivers dropping it on this opening lap. The tyres are still pretty cold. Obviously the track temperature is quite high, but that means that a lot of drivers are going to be risking it and putting the hard tyres on because they're much more durable, and at certain temperatures they can even be quicker than the softs. So we've seen obviously a lot of drivers doing that. I don't know whether LFRD is one of them. I don't know whether Craig or CMC have also gone with that same strategy. I know Mike has been doing it in practice, and I imagine he's probably doing it in the race as well. As we speak about him there, he's moving up into 5th place there is Mike, now attacking. But Ollie's still leading the race. There's Part Pooper now, looking to the inside of Doris Steer into turn 1. He's going to make that move. Doris Steer's going to try and hold it around the outside. They're still side by side. Doris Steer's not giving this one up easily, but Part Pooper gets the move done, coming into turn 3, and up into 2nd place he goes. There's Pot the Brown here going side by side with Mike. Mike looking to make this move here for 4th place, goes a little bit wide there coming out of turn 3, and that might leave him vulnerable here to Aussie Albie and John Boy. John Boy looking all over the back of Aussie Albie around the outside. Can he make the move? No, Aussie's going to look up the inside of Mike here. Aussie Albie going for a bit of a lunge maybe. Still side by side here between Mike and Aussie, and Mike seems to have the inside line, and no, in fact, John Boy and Aussie, sorry, as Pot the Brown there squeezing through ahead of John Boy, and John Boy losing 3 places there. So John Boy not having the best of moments there, but Mike's on the back of Aussie now as he's looking to the inside into 6 and 7. Aussie Albie though is trying to go around the outside of Potter Brown here. Can he make this move? Oh, as Doris Deer bringing it in right in front of them. That distracted them a little bit. Aussie did complete the move there. It was a lovely move around the outside, but in the end it looks like Potter Brown's dropped back behind Doris Deer. So Doris Deer was the one who lost it right in front of them. Potter Brown there making a mistake. Obviously saw what was happening with Doris Deer. That must have been a distraction for him as Mike here down the inside of Aussie up into turn 9 and gets the move done there up into the podium places. So Mike there continuing to cut his way through this pack like a hot knife through butter at the minute. John Boy there running in 5th place, a few seconds behind his championship rival. It's been an electric start here from Mike, and he is currently picking him off here at will at the moment. But Ollie Moss still leading this race out the front. Has got a 3.5 second gap over Park Pooper running in 2nd place. There's Mike running in 3rd, currently just ahead of Aussie Albie, with John Boy a little way further back there in 5th place. You've got Potter Brown P6 with Doris Deer and LFRD all over the back of Doris at the moment as they come into the chicane. We've lost a driver from the race in the early stages. That's Craig there, who's rage quit on the 3rd lap of this race. But LFRD has lost it there. He's binned it coming out the final corner. That's given Craig 8th place in this race at the moment. And he's now all over the back of Doris Deer in the battle for 7th place. But LFRD dropping back and he's down in 9th place now at this stage. But Ollie's still leading ahead of Park Pooper with Mike in 3rd. And Aussie Albie not too far behind him at the moment. But Mike is going to be charging after these front two. Ollie's managed to pull a bit of a gap though in the first few laps. Is he going to have enough pace to be able to keep this lead that he's got over Park Pooper? He's currently got 4 seconds to Park Pooper. I wouldn't have thought Park Pooper would be the biggest concern he's got here. I'd say this man here probably is the one he's going to be looking in his mirrors for towards the end of this race, because Mike, we know how quick he is in these GT4 cars, and he is going to be absolutely tearing after these guys at the end of this race. It's not Craig, sorry, it wasn't Craig that rage quit, it was CMC. Craig, I'm sorry, I do apologise. CMC was the one who rage quit, obviously. It's on our Discord, but isn't actually signed up to this championship, and yeah, he has unfortunately vacated the premises. But nonetheless, Ollie's still leading the race by just under 4 seconds ahead of Park Pooper. You've got Mike there running in 3rd place, a couple of seconds clear of Aussie Albie, and John Boy there running in P5, a few seconds clear of Potter Brown at the moment, with Craig just ahead of Doris still in that battle for 7th place. They continue to go at it as they go down the back straight, and LFRD still going at the moment in P9, but a long way behind the rest of them at this point. But Ollie currently cementing his lead at this point. Saying that though, Park Pooper's gained a little bit on him over the course of this lap. We can see that the gap's coming down. It was 4 seconds at the beginning of this lap. I think it's now a little bit less than that. We'll see once they come over the start-finish line. But Ollie looking comfortable out the front. Maybe not really pushing as much as he might be able to here. Knows that he's got the gap and knows that he's pretty much at this point not got too much to worry about. Park Pooper was 7/10 quicker on the previous lap than Ollie. Mike was half a second quicker than Park Pooper and 1.2 seconds quicker than Ollie. But at this sort of pace, he's not going to have enough to close in to catch Ollie to pass him and win the race. So at this stage, Ollie is doing enough to win this race as things stand. Just needs to keep up this what he's doing at the moment, and he will be the race winner for race 1 of the evening. So there is our race leader going through turn 4. There's Park Pooper in 2nd place, a few seconds clear of our championship leader, who's currently outscoring his championship rival. John Boy currently in P5 at the moment. They've got Aussie Albie in between them there. Oh, it's LFRD's lost it going through turn 3. He's had a bit of a moment there. Still getting up to speed as LFRD. Obviously, he's not been able to race with us for a while. Was with us for the start of the season as a reserve, but then when the school term started, obviously hasn't been able to be around as much, but has joined us back for the last few races of this season. I reckon he's going to be here for the last 3 rounds, and yeah, it's obviously he's just getting back into it in a moment. I'm sure that his time will come. As John Boy looks like he's closing up onto the back of Aussie Albie a little bit here. That gap's considerably less than it was. You can see there he's only just over a second behind him at the moment, and John Boy doing his personal best in the middle sector as well. Ollie's gap to Park Pooper is still just over 3 seconds at the moment. Mike not really gaining much on these two at this stage. Is he just being a bit content here? Knows he's scoring points over John Boy. Maybe he's okay with that. Mike obviously doing a fantastic job tonight. Can't be overstated, because he is driving on the controller, as sold his sim rig, because he's waiting on a better option to come along. But for the time being, he's running on no rig. He is on a controller. So we see John Boy all over the back of Aussie Albie as they come down the start finish straight in that slipstream. Is he going to have a look to the inside? Looks like Aussie's pulling away from him in the straights, despite John Boy being in the slipstream. So that just goes to show how much he's got that Ginetta set up for downforce here. As Aussie Albie comfortably staying ahead into turn 1, but he's gone a bit deep there, and John Boy might be able to get a cutback. Can he make the move here? Aussie's going to park it on the inside. John Boy's going to go for the switchback here out of turn 3. He knows that KTM is not going to get a better exit if he can get a good sort of exit coming out of this section, but he doesn't manage to do so, and Aussie Albie's going to hold on to that one for the time being. John Boy just could not find the gap. It just did not open up for him, really, did it at all? And he took too much speed going into turn 3 as well, which ran him a bit wide. And it's still the same situation here between these two. Aussie Albie's still running in 4th place. John Boy would love to make it only 1 place between himself and Mike. And here we go. Oh, he's made a mistake there as Aussie Albie's got a bit wide. And John Boy there swoops through up into 4th place. Job done there for him. He's about 6 or 7 seconds behind Mike. I think that 4th is going to be the maximum he can achieve here tonight, unless one of the top 2 bin it or make a mistake. But that's nonetheless damage limitation here for John Boy in a race which did not start too well. But he could get some solid points from it nonetheless. Ollie's still leading the race right now by 2.5 seconds. Parpoop has been consistently closing that gap bit by bit, but not massively. He's just been chipping away. But yeah, I don't think he's going to be giving Ollie too much to worry about. But Ollie coming through the final corner right now. Obviously, Ollie started in 2nd place, got the lead very early on off of LFRD and has not looked back since. He's gapped just over 2 seconds at the moment over Parpooper. So Parpooper is just keeping him on his toes a little bit here. I'll tell you what, this race is not over. Parpooper 8 tenths quicker on that previous lap. If he continues to gain at the rate that he is, he will be about a second behind as they cross the line to finish the race. So Ollie just needs to not get phased by that closing gap. As long as he can just stay calm and not get ahead of himself here, he will actually be fine. But it's easier said than done when you can see that gap coming down so quickly. But as long as he keeps up this pace, he will actually be fine. But Parpooper there in 2nd is still continuing to close that gap. Only a 10th of his personal best coming through the 1st sector as Mike there gets it very wrong going through turn 3, ever so wide there onto the runoff. His gap to John Boy's coming down here, only 5 seconds as well. So John Boy could be sniffing a 3rd place here maybe if Mike's got a bit of a problem. I don't know whether he has. I'm sure that if he has, then he'd be letting everybody know in the game chat. But Ollie getting a bit of a sideways motion there going through the turn 6 and 7, a little kink. Parpooper still chasing him down, the gap 2 seconds between these two. Ollie just responding a little bit here on this lap by the looks of it. Gap's not come down by as much as it has been in the last few laps. Down the back straight we go. Ollie Moore looking to potentially be on for a fantastic reserve appearance victory here in his first race of the night. There's Parpooper running in 2nd. Just under 2 seconds at the gap here between these two. Both driving in the Ginetta. Not sure what direction they've gone in the setups, but those liveries there look quite familiar to me because myself and Ollie used to drive in those liveries online all the time. And in fact, Parpoop is running the same rendition as I was as well. The yellow tail there on the rear wing. But here they come through the final corner. It's Ollie still leading the race by just over a second. 1.4 is the gap as we start the final lap here. So Ollie's just got to keep it cool and he'll have this race win in the bag. Parpooper there took 9 tenths of a second out of him on that last lap. But 9 tenths of a second is not going to be enough to get this race win. Mike there running in the background was 3 seconds slower than these guys on the last lap. So he is now struggling by the looks of it. John Boy there running in 4th place, not really gaining on Mike on that last lap. He gained 2 seconds, but not since Mike made his mistake is what I mean. Aussie, I tell you what, sticking to the back of John Boy here, still giving him a bit of a fight. Maybe Aussie might be able to challenge John Boy for 4th place here in this first race of the night. There's Potter Brown running ahead of Craig. Doris still a long way behind. Not been the first race of the night for him at all. LFRD still going in 9th place, has had to fix some damage by the looks of it, which has incurred a lengthy pit stop. But Ollie here coming in towards turn 6 on the final lap of the race here at Circuit de Catalunya, here in the GT4 Championship at Motive Racing. Jumped in as a very late stand in reserve here tonight, but don't let that fool you. He knows these GT4s like the back of his hand. He's driven quite a lot of miles in these cars over the years. I'm not knocking him, I'm not playing down his achievement here. If he jumps in with no practice around this circuit, or no recent practice anyway, and wins this race, then it's nothing short of an absolutely fantastic drive. But at the same time, he knows what he's doing in these cars. He's no newbie to these. But here he comes into the final sector. Ollie's got Park Pooper reeling him in bit by bit, but it's not going to be enough for Park Pooper. He's just timed his run a little bit too late here. Here comes Ollie into the chicane, or into the chicane section here, and now into that final chicane. And Ollie Marr here, what a great drive from him. Obviously racing with us towards the end of this season. He's at uni for most of the year. I don't know whether he's taken his rig to uni or what it is, but good to see him back out on track nonetheless here at Motive. And it's going to be the race win here for the opening race of the night. A flash to lights from Ollie. Congratulations to him. It's Ollie Marr to take the first win of the night ahead of Park Pooper, who takes second place. Mike's going to come over to take third place and extend his championship gap over John Boy. John Boy comes out of the final corner. In the end, pulled out a bit of a gap to Aussie Albie on that final lap. So John Boy over to take fourth place here in this one, ahead of Aussie Albie, who will finish this one in P5. Potter Brown is going to finish this one in sixth place. Bit of a lonely race for him, but nonetheless some good points in the bag for Potter Brown. Craig's going to come over to take seventh place here in this one, ahead of Doris Steer, who's just coming into the chicane. It's going to be eighth place here for him. Got Freddie in the comments. Hello, Freddie. He says, hi, Andy. Love joining these races no matter what game. Mate, honestly, you should get Project Cars too. It's an absolute hell of a game to play. It's really fun. Yeah, if you fancy getting involved with it, you'd be more than welcome to join us. Doris Steer comes over to take 8th. LFRD's coming into the final sector, and it's going to be 9th place here for him. I know a lot of guys were talking about joining us on Project Cars too soon. I know Gertie and Phoenix have got it as well. Yeah, definitely worth having a look at, mate. 100%. But LFRD into the chicane, and obviously jumping in as a late stand in reserve. You know, respect to him for being here out on the track, and he's coming through the final corner. And obviously he will take experience from this first race of the night, and I'm sure he'll be back stronger for the next two. But that is that then for the first race of the night. It's Ollie Marr taking the win. Great drive from him. Ahead of Park Pooper in second and Mike in third place. I'm going to do the championship standings in the interval. There will be a new stream, because we always do a different stream for each race. So check it out in a few minutes' time. We'll be live. I'll be posting that on the Discord server in about 5 minutes. So yeah, see you all very, very soon indeed.